New information came during a hearing for Colt Gray's father, Colin, in front of a Barrow County judge this morning. Let's get out to Fox 5's Tyler Finger, who joins us live from outside the courthouse with the night's new details. Tyler?
Yeah, Tom, good evening to you. We learned shocking details about Colt Gray and his mental state when police say he shot and killed people inside Apalachee High School last month. Investigators say he meticulously planned his heinous act.
He entered that classroom and proceeded to fire the rifle into that classroom.
Armed with an AR-15 style rifle, investigators revealed Wednesday alleged mass school shooter Colt Gray had a plan when he started his rampage inside Apalachee High School last month. GBI agents say Colt wrote it out in several notebooks and even drew some sketches.
We also found another notebook in that same room. It was a drawing of a rifle with what appears to be ammunition coming out of it, and then the word kids.
Investigators said Colt didn't just plan how he was going to take lives, but how many families he would shatter.
Under the classroom column is written 15 to 17 killed, injured, 2 to 3. Further down the page is written classroom 2, 3 to 5 killed, injured, 2 to 3. And in parentheses off to the side, it says, surprised if I make it this far.
Agents say family members knew about Colt's deteriorating mental state, but he didn't adequately get the help he needed. Prosecutors ultimately charged Colin with a number of counts, including involuntary manslaughter. Agents testified Colin knew what was going on, then still bought Colt a gun, ammunition, and other accessories.
In that body camera, when he was talking to you, did he appear to express any remorse about what had happened?
No, he did not.
Investigators say Colt had what they describe as a shrine dedicated to past school shooters. A GBI agent said Colt's mom and dad knew he obsessed over them, but felt he was just joking. Colt's mom, Marcy Gray, told the GBI her son asked his dad to buy a, quote, shooter mask.
When she asked him why he needed that, he stated in a joking manner, "What? I've got to finish up my school shooter outfit. Just kidding."
And after hearing all of this, the judge determined that there was probable cause for Colin to stand trial. Meantime, a grand jury is set to meet here tomorrow to determine that the father and son should be indicted on more charges. Tom and Courtney.
Yeah, some alarming testimony, Tyler, in court today. Besides those drawings and writings, do we know of any other evidence that prosecutors have?
Yeah, Tom, that's a really great question. I think prosecutors definitely have a lot of evidence to work with in this case. One of the other things they mentioned that they have is surveillance video. So think about it. On a school campus, there are cameras. And not only were there cameras in the hallway, but there were also cameras actually inside the classroom, which was shocking to me. So they actually have video of the actual shooting happening inside at least one of these classrooms. And again, those pieces of writing and also those sketches are something that they're going to be able to use and be able to present to a jury when this does eventually go to trial. And one of the things we weren't able to mention in that story was a piece of evidence that they gathered at the home of Colt Gray, which was a crumbled up piece of notebook paper. I'm reading it off my notes here, which they said, quote, expletive, this life of mine. Obviously, prosecutors are going to be using that to show his state of mind when all of this unfolded on that campus of Apalachee High School last month. Guys, back to you.
The details are just so chilling. Tyler, thanks.